I saw him on Denver streets. After 5, he descended his high rise and emerged from the downtown skyline, crossing the road, black bag on his shoulder, blank stare on his face, heavy soles pounding the slate sidewalk cracks, wanting nothing more than to get home as he passed beneath the shadow of the Holy Ghost. He marched against gravity, weariness, and light rail tracks, feet distant on the concrete, thoughts wandering in a fog of disconnection, a vague emptiness in his mind, every bit a blind man walking 4 lonely, low-rise blocks on his way out of town. At Park Avenue in Welton, he found his car at the final pay lot, just $1 a day. No one responsible for the stolen, dispossessed, or disillusioned. The indigent laughing on a nearby corner. The distant screech of a light rail horn. The graffiti battle on a nearby wall. The countless cars left waiting on hot asphalt all day. Or the massive daily in and out of countless souls like his. In the driver's seat, he sighed, set fire to his lungs, put the key in the ignition, and glanced in the rear view, eyeing that same old softball diamond across the street. Sonny Lawson Field, where metal stands kept empty watch behind the backstop. The infield gates lay open, but there were no bases to steal. Vagrants sat on ratty blankets just outside the outfield fence, loafing in the manicured grass, and after-work commuters flew by like none of it existed. The scoreboard and floodlights stood dark with secrets in the outfield, hidden stories of decades under the lights, the forgotten glory days of heroes from many generations. Most people too focused on their destinations, too busy to notice heartbreaking truth hanging like a fly ball in the air, just beyond the reach of the traffic on the road.
Down at 23rd and Welton, a softball game was going on under floodlights which also illuminated the gas tank. A great eager crowd roared at every play. The strange young heroes of all kinds, white, colored, Mexican, pure Indian, were on the field performing with heartbreaking seriousness. Just sandlot kids in uniform. Never in my life as an athlete had I ever permitted myself to perform like this in front of families and girlfriends and kids of the neighborhood at night under lights. Always it had been college, big time, sober-faced. No boyish human joy like this. Now it was too late. Near me sat an old Negro who apparently watched the games every night. Next to him was an old white bum, then a Mexican family, then some girls, some boys, all humanity, the lot. Oh, the sadness of the lights that night. The young pitcher looked just like Dean. A pretty blonde in the seats looked just like Mary Lou. It was the Denver night. All I did was die.
Turning away from the diamond, he shook off the signs and made his move, lurching forward, left onto Welton, the spectacle of a neighborhood in transition, ignorant of the molten blend on the street, disadvantaged and upper middle class, law-abiding and criminal, young and old, drunk and sober, resident and homeless, female and male, native, Asian, black, Hispanic, white. He drove by an abandoned store on the corner, a brand new library where children congregated, a holy place of worship, and a block of pre-gentrified homes beside $300,000 renovations, looking right through clumps of people on the sidewalk as he went. Stopping at a red light, a 5-way intersection at 25th Street, he failed to notice how close he was to the vanishing urban soul, Ethel's house, the Roxy, Zona's Tamales, the 715 Lounge, and an old triangular building on the corner called the Rossonian. Decades of life surrounded him on either side of the street, a chaotic swirl of activity, all-encompassing human behavior going about its respective business, walking, talking, smiling, frowning, crying, every sphere of possibility. Time dissolving into past, present, future, ghosts of bright, brilliant music echoing everywhere, heart-rending tunes of joy, betrayal, truth, hypocrisy, hope, youth, and sweet, everlasting conjugal fruit, calling him with a wet orgasm of 80-year-old spontaneity beats thrilling, hearts raging, improvised languages, holy contradictions, soul songs never to be forgotten. But he couldn't hear them. He threw out his cigarette and rolled up the window, shifting as the light turned green, racing madly through the rest of the district, right by Charlene's, 5 Points Plaza, BJ's Port, the Channel 12 public television station, a fading American Beauty Tivoli beer advertisement on a brick wall, then left at Downing Street, putting Welton in his rear view. He hit the gas, looking forward to a higher speed, a blurry return to covenant control, a different concept of community, overwhelmingly white, antiseptic house paint and its variations, master plan to deliver the 21st century American dream. Comfort, convenience, security, conformity, flags waving from front porches, unknown neighbors not waving from behind front doors, silence brooding over the neatly landscaped streets, truth biding its time, waiting for the right moment to launch its beats. Happy disillusionment, fake smiles everywhere, megatons of everyday human potential reduced, for the present, to a strict regiment of strip malls, chain restaurants, jogging trails, home improvement, and lawn care. He drove toward all this empty joy, a web of circles and ways, sticky market-driven happiness ready to ensnare him, sprawling just over the horizon, miles from the heart of the city.